High above the Urubamba Valley, shrouded in the shifting, ethereal mists of the Peruvian Andes, lies a profound contradiction in stone that continues to defy the conventional logic of modern time. At nearly 2,400 meters above the crashing rapids of the river below, perched precariously on a narrow tectonic ridge between two jagged peaks, sits the citadel of Machu Picchu. But beyond the majestic temples and the legendary sunstones, there exists a mystery even more scientifically profound than the architecture itself. How did a civilization without iron tools, without the wheel, or even a formal written language, provide a constant, crystal-clean water supply to a royal city suspended in the sky? While our sophisticated modern infrastructure frequently collapses and fails within a single human lifetime, the hydraulic veins of this ancient citadel have remained pulse-perfect for over 5 long centuries. Now, this is not merely a relic of a vanished past. It is a sustainable engineering masterpiece that whispers secrets to our future. The epic story of this water begins not with a shovel, but with an extraordinary, intuitive understanding of the Earth's deepest structures. The Inca engineers were, first and foremost, master geologists of the highest order. They identified a massive, invisible tectonic fault line running directly through the heart of the mountain, a strategic fissure that acted as a colossal natural sponge. Here, this geological feature absorbed the torrential Andean rains, filtering them through thousands of feet of ancient, fractured granite. On the precarious north slope, they located a primary perennial spring, a hidden leak in the mountainside that produced life-giving water even during the most brutal, sun-scorched droughts. They did not simply dig a hole. They performed a ritual of engineering. They constructed a spring house, a sanctified heavy stone enclosure designed to protect the source from external contamination and environmental erosion. They excavated the primary vein with surgical precision, carving a massive collection basin from a single, solid granite block weighing over 2 tons to stabilize the immense hydraulic pressure emanating from the mountain's core. The technical numbers are staggering. A constant, unwavering yield of 80 to 120 liters of water per minute, year-round, regardless of the seasonal shifts. To transport this water, they utilized wooden leveling troughs filled with liquid, the brilliant ancient precursor to the modern laser level to map a precise path across a 30-degree incline. They were not fighting the rugged mountain. They were entering into a sacred covenant with the landscape, ensuring every drop would follow a path destined for human greatness. The construction of the primary canal is where the Inca's mathematical genius becomes undeniably apparent. Spanning exactly 749 meters from the sacred spring to the fortified city gates, this canal is a global marvel of fluid dynamics. The most critical technical figure in this entire project is the slope, a perfectly consistent 3% grade. This was no accidental measurement. A 3% slope ensures that the water moves at a specific velocity of roughly 1 meter per second, a state of fluid equilibrium known to physicists as laminar flow. At this precise speed, the water remains exceptionally smooth and stable, avoiding the chaotic turbulence that would splash over the edges or the sluggish stagnation that would allow silt and debris to accumulate in the channel. Every single centimeter of this channel was painstakingly hand-carved into the hard, igneous rock. But the real engineering miracle remains largely invisible to the casual eye. Beneath the stone U-shaped channel lies a hidden, sophisticated defense system, a 2-centimeter layer of compacted, sun-baked clay. On a ridge as steep and unstable as Machu Picchu, water is both a divine blessing and a mortal threat. A single major leak could saturate the mountain soil, turning the entire ridge into a catastrophic landslide that would drag the temples into the abyss below. By lining the entire 749-meter canal with clay, as the Inca effectively waterproofed their entire civilization. Along this route, they integrated strategic sediment basins, ingenious sand traps where heavy particles would settle to the bottom, allowing only the purest, filtered water to continue forward into the urban sector. They polished the interior walls with hematite stones until the friction coefficient was nearly 0. The water does not just flow, It glides with elegance. It passes through the massive, earthquake-resistant city walls via apertures carved with such precision that they accommodate the natural expansion and contraction of the living mountain. This was urban planning executed with a 500-year vision. Once the water breaches the heavy city walls, it enters a rhythmic, vertical sequence of 16 ceremonial fountains, the hydraulic heartbeat of Machu Picchu. These fountains are not merely decorative ornaments. They are a sophisticated system of social, political, and spiritual hierarchy. Fountain number 1 was reserved exclusively for the Sapa Inca, the emperor himself. Located immediately adjacent to the royal residence, its specific design utilizes Bernoulli's principle of fluid mechanics. By strategically narrowing the stone spout, the engineers increased the water's velocity, forcing the stream to clear the wall in a perfect arching trajectory. This allowed the king to collect the purest, primary water without his ceramic vessels ever touching the ancient stone. From there, the water cascades 20 meters down through 15 more subsequent basins. Each individual basin is exactly 20 centimeters deep, calculated as the perfect depth to dissipate the kinetic energy of the falling water and prevent unnecessary splashing. The flow moves through hidden stone conduits beneath the public plazas, disappearing and reappearing with a rhythmic pulse that once mirrored the very heartbeat of the Inca people. Near the Temple of the Sun, the fountains served as vital sites for ritual purification and holy offerings. The acoustic design was as important as the hydraulic substance. The constant, melodic murmur of the fountains created a unique sonic environment that muffled the outside world and connected the citizens to the opus, or the powerful mountain spirits. As the water reached the lower tiers, it served the noble households, the specialized artisans, and the dedicated laborers. Finally, having served the people, the water was diverted to the massive, tiered agricultural terraces. This was the world's first ultimate circular economy. The gray water from the city, now enriched with organic nutrients, fed the maize and potato crops that clung to the vertical cliffs, ensuring the city's survival in the sky. Today, in our era of hyper-technology, our modern megalopolises still struggle with the basic requirements of survival. We face crumbling lead pipes, toxic urban runoff, and cities that drown under just 30 minutes of heavy rain. We possess the technology of gods, yet we often lack the humble wisdom of the ancestors. The sponge city concepts currently being pioneered in high-tech hubs like Singapore and Tokyo are, in reality, a humble return to the Inca's core philosophy: filtering, absorbing, and respecting the natural flow of water rather than trying to trap it in rigid concrete. The gravity-fed systems being installed in the most remote, high-altitude corners of the Himalayas today use the exact same 3% grade discovered by the Inca engineers half a millennium ago. Our most advanced seismic dampers in the skyscrapers of San Francisco mimic the dancing joints of the Machu Picchu wall structures that do not resist the earthquake's violent energy, but move in harmony with it. We are finally realizing that the true pinnacle of human engineering is not found in the complexity of our machines, but in the elegance of our long-term harmony with the natural world. When you stand before these fountains in the year 2026, you are not looking at the bones of a dead civilization. You are looking at a living, breathing blueprint for our own future. The water is still cold. It is still clean. And remarkably, it is still flowing. It has survived the fall of an empire, the brutality of the Spanish conquest, and the heavy silence of 4 centuries of isolation. The Inca built for eternity because they understood they were merely stewards of the sacred land. The final question for us is not how they achieved this, but why we ever stopped. In an age of rapid obsolescence, Machu Picchu stands as a silent witness to what is possible when human brilliance is used to preserve life rather than merely extract it. Now the water continues its 749-meter journey, drop by drop. As a reminder that true sovereignty is found in sustainability. The Inca have departed, but their water still speaks to those who choose to listen. Thank you for watching. This immersive experience was brought to you by the power of AI storytelling. We use artificial intelligence to reimagine the past and entertain the curious minds of the present. The quest continues.